Wop, bop, baloo, bop, balop, basket bros. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Basket Bros, and I am one of the co-hosts, Mo Better Denzel, a.k.a. Denzel Snipes, a.k.a. Jay Nelson, and I am here with my Basket Bros, Will I Am, Detroit Dom, and the Pundits Pundit. We got a great show for you tonight, and we will be covering the following that happens with Ben Simmons right now. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he done? What's going on? Also, we'll be covering players and coaches that should have got nominated for awards. We also got the most underrated player in NBA playoff history, as well as toughest man in playoff history. And then we're going to round it out with the best playoff series ever. So what's going on, guys? How you living?
Good. How's it going, everybody?
Doing well.
Finally healthy. Just fighting the vid, but man, I fought through and I'm healthy.
You sound a lot better.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Way better, actually.
Did you fight the vid without the co?
Nice.
Kind of, it brought some but yeah, no, I sounded like garbage on recent days, but I sound better, I feel better, everything's good.
Hey, all good, man.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
I wanted to bring up something, like we were bringing up the Ben Simmons deal, guys. And I was bringing this first. This was a very last-minute deal, as in Jen's probably going to kill me, as in bringing this like 2 minutes before the show. But I was thinking about it. When I was driving home, you know. And I was thinking of this, and it's something James Tatum said. Normally, you know, Tatum and I, we agree about as much as Republicans and Democrats. But, you know, we get to that. But he said something on Facebook that I completely agree with, and I want to be able to talk about this. He was asking if Ben Simmons is ever going to play again. Now, see, I'm not going to go into the whole thing with going to the Nets. I'm not going to play the fanboy situation. I'm not doing it that way. I'm agreeing with him because I now have a thought process on this. He's fast becoming Royce White.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great analogy.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I want to hear this. Keep going.
He's fast becoming that, and it's like, and it's a sad situation because Royce White, I just heard, was going for like doing MMA,
Right?
and he was doing MMA, and it's like, how does somebody go to do something like that? I mean, if they're a basketball player, if they're trained, if their mind was completely right, it's like by itself, you got to wonder how long before Jake Paul or Logan Paul starts calling this guy and ask him to start boxing. And he's a 6'10" dude who's an athlete. It's like, go make some money. How long before Ben Simmons is broke and starts doing that?
Right.
And
Isn't Royce White the one who was scared of flying?
I mean, you can answer that, Jay.
Oh, I believe so. I believe he was actually.
He had some mental health issues, did he not?
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
It's been some years since Royce White. Like, there was not the sort of focus or attention on mental health back then that there is now.
Well, do you know what I wonder about this? It's like, and these are just things this is why I do pundit, because I like to debate things like this. I like to think a little deeper into. It's like, and here's the one thing I want to ask a question of. How many players in the time had the same mental but didn't talk about it? Or, like, I've always said this. I've always said that, like, the people that had shell shock or PTSD from war days, you know?
Right.
Like, from war and stuff, I always felt like that, mind you, I felt like they had the same PTSD, the same shell shock, the same all that, the same nightmares. I always felt like that you hear now, but there's more help now. I felt like that they held it inside to themselves, and they had to go to work the next day. Their own head said, well, I have to go to work now. You know, I got kids to take care of. I got this to take care of. I feel like that no matter what, if you're making multi-millions of dollars, there are more out there between media and the ball and the social media and the everything you see, the news. There's more that affects anybody that has these problems, the mental problems. There's more because before, when you had all these things, your distraction was got to go to work. Got to do this. I got to raise my kids. I got to do this. They probably had the same problems, but it's probably the distractions that's causing all these.
And
then thinking about.
Absolutely. I will say that, back then in the 80s and everything, and you mentioned how
he's that sort of deal. The 40s, the World War II, that type. That's
right.
All too.
Right. You may mention that there's more avenues that people can go through. There's more encouragement for people too.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking about, let's say back in like the 70s, 80s, 60s, mind you, it's pride. It was a more prideful time period.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, you have to realize that with us men that came up in previous generations, we were told that silence meant strength and that reaching out was a sign of weakness. And then what comes to mind is the athletes that unfortunately committed suicide because they didn't reach out.
Sure.
Guys like, Junior Seau, Lala, well, not Lala Zato, but all the other ones that took their own life when they were going through things. And, people tend to ask, when and where did we fail these athletes?
Sure.
Well, I believe it's generational. And it's something that is unfair and it's toxic that have been taught by our predecessors. Much respect to them, but at some point in time, it's like it's costing lives. It's costing lives. And when do we cut the head of the snake? When do we, make a change?
Right.
So I'll comment on that. I agree with Jay. Going to war used to be like the manly man's job. Oh, I'm going to be in the war. I'm going to fight for my country and save our country. I don't need help. I'm a man among other men. And when they come back, people are like, okay, do you want help getting a job or anything? And they're like, no, I'll be fine. I got this. I'm a working man. I could get any job I want. No, the fact is that a lot of these people went through PTSD and a bunch of other mental issues and psychological issues and a bunch of other stuff going on in their head, in their body. And asking for help is never wrong.
Right.
I always tell people, and I think it's a quote somewhere, asking for help is always welcome to people. It is not a bad thing. Like, you could be the toughest guy in the world and asking for help doesn't hurt you. Like, it doesn't make you weak. It helps. Like, I have ADHD, I had to ask for help for homework. Like, does that make me weak-minded? No. Because schools come help teach you. Education helps you. And people need to realize that athletes go through this too. Like, they're humans too. Like, Royce White was scared of flying. Some guys just don't know how to behave when they come back. Like, I read a story about a guy who came back from a war and forgot how to do basic bodily things and just was never the same after. And people need to understand that, like, there's more help now than there was back then. And it's not bad to ask for help. It really isn't.
The question
That's
is,
all I have to say.
How does all of this relate to Ben Simmons? Because as I recall, when he was still a member of the Sixers, they reached out to him like, hey, dude, are you all right? Like, we can get you help. And I'm pretty sure he just refused it. And I think the way that it's going with Ben Simmons now, he's obviously healthy enough to play. And I honestly think it's like a day-by-day thing. And he'll wake up one day and be like, I'm ready. And then, it gets closer to like tip off and he's like, no, maybe I'll play tomorrow. But at some point, like, no one really knows what's going on in Ben Simmons' head other than Ben Simmons. But he's got to figure something out because if nothing else, like, he's doing nothing for his reputation for his stock going forward as a player. And at some point, they're just going to pull the plug on him and be like, "We're done. You're done."
And you know something, and absolutely, Jen, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And it's like when I was saying distractions, everything that I was saying about from the back, because I go back, my family goes back to the World War II era. So, I mean, that having an older father, like I said, it goes back to that. So I brought it back farther than most people when I was bringing that. I was not disrespecting anybody that's ever needed help. I wanted people to know that, and I'm agreeing with all of you. I'm saying I just feel like that now there is just so many distractions that just spins everybody's head. Like, I did a test on my Twitter thing. I just decided I'm going to block everything stupid. People might have seen that. I'm trying to get 1 million blocks. All of a sudden, I started that. I'm making about 1,250 blocks right now. I'm noticing my algorithm just looks a lot smarter. But those are the things. It's like it is completely shows what Twitter wants you to do. It's like in TikTok on the video side, they want you distracted, and it affects your mental state. And it's like, and it can be a multi-millionaire like Ben Simmons, or it can be a regular everyday like us. And it's like, if we don't do something about it, it's like it can make mental illness a lot worse.
Absolutely, it could. That's the thing that, and I'm not going to get into anything too deep, but people have to realize that athletes are humans too. So whenever I hear the shut up and dribble crowd open their mouths, I always find a need to correct them. They're human beings. They have mental states. They have emotions. They have feelings. This isn't about just go and do what I paid a ticket for you to do. You know what I mean? Because guess what? If that guy is unfit to play ball, or he does something worse to himself, he can't do what you paid a ticket for him to do. And his opinion does matter. And his mental state absolutely matters. So people have got to stop this. They got to get out of this mindset that athletes are just athletes and that's it. These people have families, they got mental states, everything that I just mentioned, and they need to realize that it is okay to come out if they need some help. Now, how this relates to Ben Simmons, in my opinion, I don't know if he's using it as an excuse. I don't know if he's being very prideful. I don't know what's going on. All we know is what we see and what's being put out there right now. And that is a man who is seemingly healthy that is not playing. And everyone, it's his back, it's his back, it's his back. Here's the thing. Back pain is hard to prove. It's very hard to prove. It is the hardest thing to prove.
Yeah. And you know what I think?
And disprove.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And disprove, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Dom.
Oh, no, that was it. Go ahead.
No, you know what I've thought about? You want to know who I think about? And I thought about this tonight also. You want to know who we don't know where his mental state is sometimes, because he got out of the league twice before he finally retired third time. Michael Jordan.
True.
Mind you, he's the greatest of. We have it as the greatest of all time. So this people aren't going to think like that. They call him the mentally toughest guy. He won 6 titles. They will talk about that. Here's the thing. I brought this up to somebody today. He left twice. Everything of Michael Jordan's being, everything is competition. He would play 36 holes and it'd be $100 a hole or $1,000 a hole, whatever. Everything is competition. Everything drives him. He's driven so much. I brought up this about Bird, and of course I'll bring it up. Bird was driven too. He wanted to win. He wanted everything. He hated losing. But you want to know what he did? On his days off, he went to Indiana and he fished. He played golf. Maybe he played $10 a hole because he hated spending money. He maybe $10 a hole or something. But he relaxed.
Right. He
fished. He was with buddies. He went in a truck. He did his mom's even though he hurt his back, he did his mom's driveway. But his brain relaxed. Nothing was all competition at all time. So his brain was relaxed at all time. I wonder about Jordan. How much did he really wear himself out to get those 6 titles? Because he retired twice.
Well, here's the thing with Jordan. Okay, so you remember when you and I had the conversation about Tom Brady, and you said Tom Brady is addicted to winning. If he wins another Super Bowl, he's going to want to win another.
Yes.
Michael Jordan is the same way. Why do you think he gambled? It wasn't even about the money. It's because he loved winning.
Yes. Yeah.
It's because the man was addicted to winning.
Mm-hmm.
So when he wasn't playing basketball, of course he went to play baseball. Of course he went to go gamble. Anything where he's in a position to, well, can I win something? Can I win it? Cool. I don't care if it's a free T-shirt. Can I win it?
Is that T-shirt made of gold?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. You want to segue to the next topic, man?
Absolutely. Let's go with it. You know, one of the things I was thinking about big time was the greatest, the absolute greatest. Now that we're watching these playoff games right now, playoff series, and we're getting some good ones right now. Greatest playoff series we can think of all time.
Oh, man. Go ahead, John. Kick it off.
I mean, the one that comes to my mind, and not even just because we got screwed on a phantom foul call, but the 87-88 finals, Lakers-Pistons, went 7 games. Pistons should have came out on top, but, like, those were close games and hard fought, and we had just got done finally toppling the Celtics, so we ended that dynasty. And then the following year, we ended the Lakers dynasty. But, yeah, that – I want to say – yeah, that was the first NBA Finals that I watched all 7 games. I mean, I was 7 or 8 years old, but I was an angry little 8-year-old kid from the end of that game until Game 6 Game 4. We swept them the next year. Yeah, I was a pissed off little kid for like about 350 days in a row.
That's you anyway, Dom.
Huh? Yeah, true. It's probably where I got it from.
Go ahead, Will.
There's been so many great NBA finals, or NBA playoff series finals, what have you. But like, there's so many I can think of. Like, I don't like the Miami Heat, but the 2013 NBA Finals was a hell of a one, especially Ray Allen making that game winner. Like, as much as I don't like the Heat, that was just a crazy back and forth playoff series, NBA Finals game, series. Sorry, pardon my speech. And then there's a few others I can think of. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Celtics, Lakers in 2008 when Paul Pierce got hurt and then came back. That was a good one. And
that was a great series, even though it was scripted.
Debatably. But yeah, there's a handful of great play NBA playoff series. There's too many to name.
Well, that 2013 you brought up, absolutely. That was really good series between Charlotte and Boston the year after Bird left. That was really
the 93 one.
Yeah. And then
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
The 1993 one was awesome. I wasn't born. Actually, I wasn't. It was a year before I was born. But it was crazy. The Celtics played the Hornets. The Hornets were down by 1 with a few seconds left. Alonzo Mourning was a rookie. The Hornets were up in the series, I think, 2-1, and it was best of 5. Alonzo Mourning got the ball at the top of the key, and he took a step back, hit the game winner. It won it for the Hornets. He ended with 33 points that game, and he won the series for the Hornets. So, yeah, that was a huge playoff series. I think that's probably the best one.
Can we go back to best of 5 in the first round, please?
That would be nice.
Well,
get rid of the play-in, but really, like, how many times has an 8 seed ever beat a 1? Once that I know of for sure, when Denver beat Seattle.
Yeah.
Was Grizzlies Spurs?
2011, number 8 Philly, led by Andre Iguodala, knocked out number 1 Chicago.
That's right. That's the only other one, isn't it?
Nope, because in 2007, number 8 Golden State knocked out number 1 Dallas.
Yeah, but
right.
what 1999 with the Knicks. They were an 8th seed and got to a final.
They're the lowest seed to make an NBA Finals to date.
But
Yep.
I'll give you one. I brought up 1,000 of those Celtics ones. I'll give you another one I didn't bring up yet. The 1988 NBA, the Eastern Conference semifinals between them and the Hawks.
That was a great series.
It was. They had 3 games, 2 games to 2. Atlanta wins by 2. Atlanta wins by 2 in Boston Garden. Bird guarantees they're going back to the Boston Garden. They win in Atlanta by 2. And then they go to the Boston Garden Game 7, 81 points between them, 47 for Dominique, 34 for Bird, 20 in the second half, 20 in the fourth quarter, everything like that. And then the Celtics win by 2. So 3 games by 2 points either could have had. That is one of the greatest playoff series you're going to get.
That just reminded me of the first round. What year did the Celtics beat the Lakers? 06?
08.
08. The first round, Boston almost lost to it. Atlanta took them to 7 games. No one won a home game.
Right.
That was a great series. That was ISO Joe in his prime.
Yep.
Worst playoff series, by the way. Atlanta and Miami, 09.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That
Every
was bad.
game got 20 points. The game went to 7. It was just awful.
I was going to say, or any of the last 3 times the Pistons have been in the playoffs.
What about your best playoffs, Jack?
I'm gonna do 2 of them, and they both are by the same teams. I'm gonna start with the 1994 second round Houston Rockets versus Phoenix Suns.
Yes.
So Houston had 2 commanding fourth quarter leads at the Summit in back-to-back games and fell down in the series 0-2. They blew 2 fourth quarter leads back-to-back games. And the Houston Chronicle read like the next day after the second game, choke city. More on that in a minute. So then Houston would win 3 consecutive games to take a 3-2 lead. Phoenix won game 6, and then Houston closed it out in game 7. Houston became only the second team at that time period to win a best of 7 after being down 0-2. 95 postseason, the rematch, Houston and Phoenix. Phoenix actually took a 3-1 series lead, and then Houston won 3 straight to close them out in Phoenix. The iconic Mario Elie dagger 3 from the corner, and Houston became the first team ever to win consecutive years playoff series after being down 0-2 and 1 and 3-1 in the other. And after that one where they came back from 3-1, that's where we got the nickname Clutch City.
Yeah.
And you won rings both of those years.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So here's the question for you. How did you have Clutch City when you had James Harden?
You know, it's crazy because I was looking at someone's post earlier. I think it was Marcus Tate's, but Dom knows who he is. So Kobe had made mention, and he said that James Harden will never win in Houston with that style of play. And people like to just take that part of his quote. Well, if you're going to quote the man, quote everything he said, because he went on to say the next sentence, James Harden has no choice but to play that style because options 2 and 3 are always hurt.
Yeah. Harden, and that's the thing. It's like, and that's the thing, but it's like I saw a guy today, he had a Harden jersey, like a Harden Street jersey. And I said to him, he is now guaranteed to shoot 2 for 17 in game 7.
Oh, boy. To be fair, that was the whole Rocket squad in Game 7 that still pisses me off versus the Warriors when they missed 27 straight, and D'Antoni didn't know the meaning of get to the foul line. But whatever.
And even the commentators were like, at what point do you stop shooting?
Thank you. I was watching that game in Wild Wings, and I was like, somebody want to, like, switch up? Like, what's going on? You know? Like, and here the Warriors are chipping off at this lead. And it's like, I don't see no one getting to the rim. I don't see no one getting to the foul line. Oh, here's another Durant 3. Another missed 3 by Houston. Here's Curry. Here's Iggy. Leaving wide open. Here's Thompson. I'm like, anyone that leads down to 2, and then they took the lead, and then they never look back. Yeah. So this is exactly the reason why, Jacob, I've said that year we had an NBA best 62 games. Number 1 seed. NBA best. And I was like, I'm still not convinced because look who our coach is. He gonna fold when it matters. Watch.
I was gonna say the book was already out on D'Antoni from Phoenix because he did the same thing for all them. They won 60 games a couple times and 50 every year.
They were guaranteed 50 games. They were great. They were. I mean, shoot, like, hold on, wasn't D'Antoni the coach when they came back 3-1 on the Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, Jacob, you know, Megan's gonna call him trash. Okay, he's a good coach. He's good enough to maybe win the best record in the league. He's good enough to produce a regular season MVP. He's not good enough to get you to that next level.
Well, here's what the issue with D'Antoni now. I'm going to say this. It's like if he gets a job again, he's going to Sacramento / Las Vegas. And I'm saying, I'm bringing, you know me with that stuff and how I've been saying that whenever that time comes. But he's going there. And it's because they were talking about Mark Jackson or D'Antoni for the thing. It's like, it shouldn't be Mark Jackson for one thing. He's got higher level jobs that can go for, you know? And it's like, the thing about D'Antoni is he's going to be that type of guy. Sacramento has been 16 years with a losing record. You can get 43 wins out of them, and they're going to think it's a miracle worker. And that D'Antoni will get 43 to 45 wins.
I wouldn't want to coach Sacramento. Is Chris Webber coming out of retirement?
But no, I'm saying, D'Antoni will get 43 to 45 wins in his sleep. I mean, he has a high octane offense. He just has zero. He has a 0 octane defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he tells his players, don't play defense just because I don't want to risk a foul. Just get in their way and hope they miss.
Right. Just do the swipe.
If he misses, come down with the rebound.
Hey, maybe D'Antoni can go to Charlotte, Will.
Oh, God,
no. Man, don't wish that on him.
No.
You know what? The good part.
I'm sorry, go ahead, did any of you watch Game of Zones, that Bleacher Report series?
Yeah.
That was a parody.
Yeah.
I think there was an episode where he was talking to James Harden. And he was like, why not 0 defense, double the offense? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They did him dirty.
But is it fair to say if D'Antoni goes to Charlotte, LaMelo Ball will win Most Valuable Player? They just won't get to the finals.
Yes, but I don't want it.
They just won't get to the finals. But LaMelo Ball will win Most Valuable Player.
Well,
yeah, but I don't want him.
Yeah, D'Antoni's like a cheat code for your personal stats.
I don't want him still. Keep him away.
Well, it's Mike. That's Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan wants offense.
Oh, can't stand that guy either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another topic.
Well,
should we go to another one? Next one?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say that. I'm going to ask this right now. I want to ask this part right now as far as our next deal. Name the toughest person in the NBA history.
Man, we'll
not only do that, but then let's ask this right now. Let's name some names.
You know what?
Charles.
You want to go like this?
Yeah. No. Charles Oakley, score or no score?
Definitely score.
Score.
Yeah.
Toughness was the only part of his game that was worthwhile. And rebounding.
Absolutely.
I can tell you this. Back in 86, 87, before Scottie Pippen got in there, he had a 29.28 rebound game. So, I mean, the thing was he had in those times, remember, when you play that rough, you get injuries.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, I'm sorry, I was going to run some names down. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, but no, I was going to say Charles Oakley. I said Charles Oakley, you can definitely say that. What do you think of Truth? Wilt Chamberlain, score or no score?
Score. Played a tougher era.
Score.
Held his own.
Yeah.
I don't think Wilt was particularly tough. He was a phenomenal athlete.
I'm with Dom. Wilt was a little bit more finesse. He wasn't like a bully.
True.
Yeah.
But his size was so intimidating. He really didn't need to be tough. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
for real.
Truthful. I don't know 20,000.
He's maybe the best athlete I've seen at that size, like in my life. Like that dude could run like a deer.
Yeah. Hey, be truthful. We don't know if he had 20,000 women. It's just that's just the whole thing whatsoever. He had plenty of women. Let me tell you this: if he was a tough guy, he wouldn't have that many women. Yeah, it's like this is the thing.
True.
want you to be tough in the moment, but they don't want a big ruffian all the time and stuff like that. They don't want to be scared. They want you to be gentle, and it's like he had his own little gentle deal. It's like I guarantee he had more than Bill Russell.
Right, true.
So Jay, you were going to go through names. I'll go through names after you.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I picked out 5 names, and I'm gonna pick who I thought was the best one out of all of them. So I got Bruce Bowen from the Spurs. I got Rick Mahorn from the Pistons. I got Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley from the Knicks, which we already went over, and I got Allen Iverson, who's probably pound for pound like one of the toughest, absolutely. But I'm gonna go with Rick Mahorn because, and I'm sure Dom's gonna comment on it. That Bad Boys Pistons team, man, those were some gangsters. I mean, there's a reason why Jordan hit the gym to get bigger, and they were it. And Rick Mahorn, I mean, she could have been Mahorn, Sally, Lambeer, even Lil Thomas will get in your grill. You know, so but my pick was Mahorn on that one. Like, man, dude was a straight bruiser, you know, and Dom, I'm sure you can elaborate, man.
So I'll go real quick. Sorry, Dom.
My bad, go ahead.
I've got a list too. I've got Charles. I'll pick 1, 2. I got Charles Barkley, Bill Lambier, Rasheed Wallace, Ron Artest, and Rodman. Who I think? Rodman. Rodman was tough as nails. That guy was a tough rebounder. That guy will fight for rebounds. He will pull you down with him if he had to get a rebound. That guy was tough as nails. So I've got to go with Rodman. Pistons and Bulls, Rodman.
Well, nice. But hold on, hang on, Will. If you had to pick the tougher one, would you pick Bulls Rodman or Pistons Rodman?
Bulls.
I think Bulls just barely. Bulls just barely.
I'm gonna say Pistons because of what Jacob was talking about earlier, and I know it was a different context, but Rodman had a lot of distractions. I mean, he still did his job.
In Chicago, yeah, he did.
But when he was in Detroit, he was straight business.
Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Still had his mentor. By the time he got to Chicago,
barely.
he was out of his mind.
I'd say Chicago just barely. But
I respect that. Go ahead,
Only reason I say Chicago, is because my whole memory with I have my one big memory of Rodman trying to stick up for Lambeer during the fight in the Palace. During the fight in the Palace with Bird versus everybody in Detroit.
Oh yeah, when Robert Parrish just punched Lambeer in his face.
Well, that was in Boston Garden, but I was talking about in the Palace when the Bird swung on him and then he threw the ball in his face. And then Rodman tries to get in there, put a headlock, and Bird just throws him like 10 feet away, just like nothing. It's just like, get out of here.
You know what? Bird wasn't like muscular, but he was a low-key cock strong, like cat.
Country strong.
Yes.
He's country strong, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. First off, like I said, he did his mom's driveway, hurt his back, but he did those type of things. That's country strong right there. That's number one. Number two, and then you get to those things. Number two, he averaged 10 rebounds a game for a career, facing with Moses Malone.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And it's like, and that's more than that is more game than Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the and it's like, and those are the things though. It's like that's positioning, that's all that. It's like, yeah, he was, but I'm just saying that's one of the rare stars that didn't need a bodyguard.
True.
He actually
and I mean, and averaging 10 rebounds a game, like even for 80 standards, isn't that like, I mean, that's something you expect, of course, out of a center, but Bird was a small forward.
Yeah.
He's a small forward averaging 10 a game in the 80s.
Years.
In the 80s.
Yeah. That's insane, man.
Larry Bird, if Bird was playing now, he would put Russell Westbrook's triple-double streak and averaging it for a season to shame. Plus, he's a way better all-around player, obviously.
So who's your list, Dom? Do you have one?
It's probably mostly Pistons. Jay kind of stole my thunder, although I don't blame him. It's probably Mahorn for me, although pound for pound, you said AI, and I always bring up this conversation about just the better player who had more heart, who was tougher. I would say Zeke was probably tougher than AI because Zeke would try to fight you as if he were Rick Mahorn's size. Bill
Yeah.
Laimbeer, he was tough-ish, but he was more of an irritant. Like, you'd get the ball in the post and he would elbow you in the back. Rick Mahorn would look you in the eye and then knock your teeth out with his fist.
Right. You know, and, you know, it's crazy. Like, you know how like they tell you growing up, like, you know, watch out for the smallest man in the pack. That was Zeke.
That was Zeke.
100%.
Part of the
Even though the other guys will bruise you, even though the other guys will do you in, you think, oh man, Thomas is an easy target. Thomas will, man.
The most overrated tough guy I will ever say that pretends he's tough, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, I gotta hear this one. Go ahead. I gotta hear this one.
People say LeBron too, but that's just because of his scowl. We brought that up. But Shaq, have you seen his fight? Have you seen whatever fights he gets into? They literally look like they're about 10-year-olds on a playground. He doesn't look like he has any. He doesn't look like he has any skill at all. He looks like a big. The dude is an athlete, but I mean, Shaq is going to get. He's going to get credibility based off of that size. That's an immense man. I mean, that literally a size 23 shoe.
Right.
So that's going to get the credibility, but I think he would get his absolute. I mean, he talks about, I don't beat a bit. I kicked their ass for running. Yeah, and it's like they talk on this. He get his ass knocked out. You get the right. How big
who did he dunk on and then give the shove to?
Huh? It was homeboy on the Knicks. I forgot his name.
Oh, the white dude, Chris Dudley.
Yep.
Yeah, because Dudley got up and threw the ball at him. But you notice he gave the shove, then he turned around and jogged pretty quickly back down the court. Like, in a fist fight, I'm probably taking Chris Dudley.
You know who else thought he was tough too is Dwight Howard. Not scared of him, bro.
Dwight
Howard.
They put muscles in.
There's some rumors out there about Dwight Howard that I believe are true. Dwight Howard is not tough. He's a pillow biter.
Yeah. Right.
That's why I don't think Dwight Howard was strong. Was he like, I'm going to beat you up? No.
No. You know, to touch on the point about Shaq's size, what Jacob was talking about. You know how, like, whenever you hit, like, you know, the 70s and everyone kind of loses an inch in height, you know, because of old age.
Yeah.
When Shaq hits that, he'll be 7 feet. Let that sink in. That's how big he is. Yeah. He'll be 7 feet tall when he hits that.
He will. He will.
Crazy.
And truthfully, he probably won't make 65.
I saw him at a club in Miami, like sitting 10 feet away from me. Like, you think he looks big on TV, post-game press conferences, you know, we've probably all seen his size 20 shoe. When you see him in person that close to you, like, he's so big. Like, I mean, I knew it was him. I kind of had to do a double take, and then I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, there's no way, like, God made a human being that large.
Yeah, big.
Oh, that's not discrediting his size. It's just like, for one, the reason I bring this up is because he talks a tough game at all times. Most giants aren't fighters.
Right.
He's a flat out giant of a man, and it's like, someone like him, he needs to snatch you and end it quick.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, he's going to wear out. I don't care what kind of athlete he is. He's going to wear out, and then someone clips him, he's going down.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't. See, I don't care how big you are. That is the deal that is true. And he has to snatch you and end it fast.
Right.
He might be too nice to do that.
I agree. Okay.
You know, let everybody know that segment was brought to you by Score or No Score. Have you guys that I have just put it on Score No Score from the App Store? I'm telling you this right now, I'm losing like hell.
Go talk to Joe Jenkins. He's got some expert gambling tips for you.
Oh, right. So I'll lose only half the time. But what you basically do is you choose it can be anything from an inning. It can be a quarter. Will they score? Will they not score? You choose. It is, and you said it yourself, Dom. It was gambling for dummies, and you get that choice. You can lose them all. You can use your money and go get some more coins and go try the same thing. But it's a nice little fun, and it's kind of a good escape.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Will Jacob deGrom's arm remain in one piece for the rest of this inning?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
On the App Store, Google.
oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna segue into coaches. Was it coaches that should have won an award?
Coaches and players who should have been nominated for awards.
I'll go first on this one, and I have a coach in mind. And even though he played for even though he coached for the rival Jazz, Jerry Sloan. Keep in mind that Jerry Sloan is a top 15 coach in NBA history.
Yeah.
Who never won Coach of the Year.
Oh, I thought we were doing this year's.
Are we doing this year's or just in the?
Yeah, I thought we were doing this year's, but it's up to you.
Either or.
We can
Either or.
Yeah, either or. But no, that was mine. Go ahead, y'all.
I'm sorry. So I did this year's. So MVP, I don't remember who the finalists were. I think it was Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. So I got for MVP, it could have been finalists could have been Doncic, Durant, Trae Young, DeRozan, and Curry. Rookie of the Year finalists were, I think, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Mobley. I had Giddey because Josh Giddey had a crazy good year for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You're getting
Six man. I had for players who should have been finalists: Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Oubre Jr. Defensive Player of the Year. I had Capella, Jokic, Embiid. Most Improved. I had Miles Bridges, Jordan Poole, Desmond Bane, Tyrese Maxey. And for Coaches of the Year that should have been nominated for this year, Chris Finch, Ime Udoka, Billy Donovan, Jason Kidd, Willie Green, and J.B. Bickerstaff.
And boy, I'll tell you this: everybody, the Bulls fans are going apoplectic right now over this. Milwaukee is the defending champions. It's like did they forget the type of coach that replaced them, that they replaced, and how much of a mess they were. The Bulls.
Sorry, go ahead.
The Bulls aren't ready yet. They will be. They're going to get more players than they're going to be, and they're on the right track. But it's like fans at some point have just got to forget about trying to be the instant oatmeal and trying to get, you know what I'm saying? And just trying to win now. Go for the future. You're getting there. They have a perfect thing going on right now, and I think Donovan can easily win it.
Yeah, but to Jay's point of history, I agree with Jerry Sloan. It's crazy he's never won Coach of the Year.
He's never won it. His head coach, as a matter of fact, as I bring up the bit of a stats here, his NBA head coaching record is 1,221 wins, 803 losses. That's good for 0.603%. He won a Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award, but that's about it. But yeah, dude should have been Coach of the Year at least once. So
I agree.
It's fair to say dude got robbed. And I hate the Jazz, but it's fair to say he got robbed. Somewhere along the line, he got robbed.
Yeah, he should have won one in there somewhere because the overall win percentage speaks volumes. Like, when are the Jazz ever bad? Like, a bad season for the Jazz, they win 35 games. It's like the Steelers.
Right. You notice that Sloan, that's just the biggest thing also about Sloan. He knew, I mean, okay, we had Frank Layden, and he could do fine with John Stockton. He really knew how to use Stockton and Malone.
Yes.
Really. I mean, that was high octane. And see, Stockton's not fancy. Was never fancy.
Not at all.
Just hands. And then they just every part of the thing, and he used them. You got 50, 60 wins every single year. You could just bank it.
Guaranteed.
You could guarantee
So
it.
who do you guys have, Dom and Jacob?
Jay took mine for the coach that never won Coach of the Year. I'm looking at the list from this year. You kind of named off all the good ones as well. Yeah. Will, I got nothing.
Yeah, anybody in history?
I had a sixth man on the tip of my tongue. I know he got some vote. It was one of those years when it was kind of a weak pool. Earl Boykins could have easily won a sixth man of the year. He averaged 12. He averaged 12, 13 points a few different times. I'm trying to think of who won it the years that he really could have or should have. I mean, couple of years ago, I think he finished third in the voting. Spencer Dinwiddie was the best sixth man in the league that year, and I don't think he got any first place votes. Got a handful of second place votes, a bunch of thirds. But yeah, that's what I got.
And who's a sixth man that should have been a starter?
Ooh.
Jesus. See,
That's tough.
you said, okay. I'm probably gonna catch hell for this, but I'm gonna say Ginobili.
That was mine.
I'm gonna catch hell for this.
I'm
one
gonna say
too.
Ginobili.
Yes, I agree with that one. I'm gonna catch a lot of hell for this too, but Jamal Crawford maybe.
I was thinking that too, but
you're right, Will. You're on the right track.
He's a defensive liability.
Mine is sort of, only a sort of, because he started 400 career games. But he also was a sixth man. He was also a sixth man over about 600 games. That would be Kevin McHale.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
He was a sixth more than he was sixth man more than he was a starter. People don't realize that. And that's the thing. He's the black hole. You could not stop those moves.
No, you can't.
Cannot stop the moves. And it's like, it makes, when I see Kevin McHale's moves today, we get these 3-point shots. What in the earthly hell? Especially when you've got an awesome dude like Embiid, who I still am going to believe he's the MVP. No matter what, I'm always going to believe this year. He is unreal. A guy like Embiid, I mean, especially if you have a combination. What if you put him with a combination of McHale and Hakeem with moves like that?
Jesus.
I mean, it's like put him.
That's a 2K's dream, dude.
But I'm just saying, give him those with that kind of athleticism. He can still shoot threes, but what if you discipline it? You're not stopping that.
You can't.
No,
especially with the lack of true post defenders nowadays. But it's like the defenders aren't there, but the post players aren't there either because they all want to shoot threes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I told someone this, and you guys probably agree 100%. The big man position is dead. Unfortunately, it is dead. It is non-existent anymore.
Yeah, because
sad. Thanks, Steph Curry.
Well, the thing you think about is that this is what everybody brings up when you're watching. This is what I brought this up on my pundit's point. I really brought this up, and I said this: how did ADD world, and this is an ADD microwave world. You all know this. This is an ADD microwave world. How did this ADD microwave world pick 3-point shots spread out and people 8 of the players put the thumb up their ass compared to Showtime? How did it beat Showtime? All that boom, 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 boom. I mean, you'd get 20 points in about a 3-minute span between two teams.
A lot of it, honestly, is analytics. If you could put a team together that can make 35% of their 3-point shots, it's a better bet. Of course, when your team goes cold, like I watch the Pistons do often, they'll just keep jacking up shots. Like, it's like Kobe trying to shoot his way out of a cold streak. The next one, clang. The next one's going in, clang.
Yes, the mindset of a shooter. Next
thing you know, we scored 8 points in a quarter.
Well, see, I bring up Bird 10,000 times a day, but I'm bringing this up here. when he was off, there's just Dennis Johnson to throw it under the basket. There, he's 2 feet away.
True.
It's like he was one of the best off balls players of all time. He just get around people. He use off picks. You go off picks, and then there he is to catch the ball, 2 points. Yeah, and it's like
I don't know.
People don't do that.
I don't know if.
Go on. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my bad. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm pretty sure we all learned, or a few of us learned, when you're cold, pass it to someone else.
Right.
Don't shoot yourself out of a cold streak.
Or go to the rack, but people don't do that anymore.
Or go to the rack or whatever. And if you are cold, pass it to someone else. Maybe in like the next possession or the next 2 possessions, they'll give you another try. They'll break that cold streak. But don't keep chucking it and chucking it and chucking it.
Well, the chucking it deal, you're right. In the chucking it deal, this is the big problem. When the latter days, when the older days players were cold, and guess what? It's 82-game season. They all went cold. All of them. You have your nights, you're in New Jersey somewhere, and you've had a bad plane trip, and you're just having an off night. They all happen. But you want to know how many of those players just, okay, guess what? I'm just going to go underneath the basket, or I'm going to drive. I'm going to the hoop. Okay, I'm just going to pass. I can't even make the layup. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to do defense that day. They had so many different layers.
Yes, true.
And
You know what?
I mean, even LeBron's smart enough to do that.
Huh?
Do you guys?
Go ahead,
Go
Will.
ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh no, because Dom said, like, even LeBron gets heat for doing that. He's making a smart basketball play. If he sees the open man, he's gonna kick it out. Yet when Jordan found Kerr to hit the game winner to win the NBA Finals, he gets a pass.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and
you know what? I like the guys who stay in the gym or after the game, mainly in the gym. It says keep on the lights. I'm going to stay after practice to work on my craft. Those guys last longer and work hard.
And let's give credit, since we mock LeBron to death, let's give him this one piece of credit. Let's absolutely do this right now. Just like Kobe, let's just say this right now. Bron literally is the one. I mean, he is always looking for the open guy. He is looking to drive the paint. He works off the ball. He is Mohicans.
You don't really see him chuck up a lot of ill-advised shots. He's typically always thinking about what's the highest percentage play. Do I go to the hole? Do I go to the hole and just crush on someone? Do I go to the hole and look for the open man? I'll give LeBron his props. I
agree, Dom.
Seasons. It takes a lot of his 19th season. A lot of us have always respected his talent, but we know what we have with us flaws with him. But the thing is, when you have to say that's what he does, it's because no one else is doing it. He is literally the last of the Mohicans of that old school. He will play off the ball. He will play off the ball. He would try to get around picks. He isn't strong enough to get this, and he doesn't take ill-advised shots.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not going to go as far as saying that he's the last of the point forwards, because we've talked about this. Bird regarded as the first point forward. Then you've had LeBron. Right now, it's Draymond Green. Who do you foresee as being the next point forward?
Ooh.
Oh boy, I wish we could flip that thing on the visuals over there. It's a tough
right.
Draymond been in the league now.
Draymond's
been in the league
11, 12 years.
10 years, yeah.
He's probably got 3 more years left. It's like, but really, what's going to be who's going to be the next point forward is probably 7 foot tall. It's probably 7 foot. It's probably okay. Let's just, even though there's a center to it, Embiid. Embiid will pass. Embiid's got hands.
He will.
Jokic passes too.
I was going to say I would hazard a guess. I would call Jokic a point forward.
Sure.
Jokic from the offense?
It runs through him.
I'm talking about someone who brings the ball, traditionally a point guard,
right,
who bring the ball up and run the offense, but Bird has been the one to do it as small forward. LeBron's done it as small forward. Draymond does it as power forward. You know what I mean? So, a forward to bring the ball up court and call the shot and run the offense.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one.
Well, I'm just saying it's going to be a 7-footer next time. It's just, it really, you got to remember, back in '79, Magic was first. Magic was first as a 6'9" guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
He played center in the finals when Kareem was hurt.
Yep. Do absolutely anything. Then there's Bird at 6'10" on the thing, and he could. And during an 82, 83 year, when the point guard would go out, he'd run the plays. And then the 6'10" guy doing that. And there's those, but it's like, who's to say we're not going to get a 7-footer now? It's like, I'm not going to say Chet.
Chet Holmgren till his leg breaks in 3 places.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I'm not going to say the dude from Gonzaga. I'm not going to say him because he doesn't. He does not have the same skills. Chet doesn't have the same skills as Durant or any of those.
No, Timmy's more of a Tim Duncan type. The way he plays at Gonzaga.
True, Timmy, yes.
He reminds me of Duncan.
He does.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs picked him up because they saw him as a Duncan clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guys, Just come to find out, we are at an hour, and it goes quick. We are. It goes quick, and we had a lot of fun here, and we need to keep doing this. We definitely we need to do a lot more of these human interest type things. Come with the idea. I enjoyed that first one.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
So Will, where do we see you?
You guys can find me Monday nights on the NBA Carousel. I am currently covering the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. Thursday nights, Sip Off, hosted by Megan Price, Jahan Phillips. Saturday nights, you can occasionally find me on the Gauntlet, hosted by Jay Nelson, Dom DeRubis, James Tatum when he's around, JJ Jenkins. And you can find me here on Sunday night with the BasketBros. These guys right here.
Very nice. Where do we see you, Jay?
All right. Let's see. NBA Carousel, hosted by Megan Price. That's on Mondays. I typically cover the Rockets, but they're long gone and didn't have a shot at the playoffs. So I'm covering the Toronto Raptors for as long as they are in the postseason. But you can catch me tomorrow night doing that. Also, Tuesdays, Cubfidential, which is going on the air at 10:50 Eastern Standard Time. I produce the show, and on the show is our girl Uptown Jeannie, Jennifer Matthews-Lewis. It's gonna Steve Swan is on there, and also the Pundit's Pundit, Jacob Christner, as well as Jordan Long, and it's hosted by our guy JB Ellis. Also, you can find me on the Sip Off. Either I'm on the panel or I'm your favorite heckler. That's on Tuesday nights with Megan Price and Anthony B. Brown, as well as Jahan Phillips. And also, there's the Gauntlet at on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's myself, JJ Jenkins, James Tatum when he returns, and Dom DeRubis, Marshall Hill, Craig Davis. I'll see you on Commissioner Kings, fam. See y'all next week. Right on BasketBros.
And Dom.
They know where to find me.
Are you too drunk to say it?
I have not. No, I am not, sir. Sunday. It's the Lord's Day.
It's the Lord's.